Why is it that I just look crazy? I mean, those are just my eyes, but they look crazy. All right, so month 4. It's mostly done, like not quite done. Today is what? The 29th. And if I look like kind of crazy-eyed, it's because I just got through my content goal for the month of April, and I thought, what better time to sit down and record this video than almost at the end of the month. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm Emilia. This is month 4 of my MEGA, Making the Internet Great Again, case study series. I started this site in January of 2021 with the goal of basically trying to grow it as quickly as possible. So where are we? First, let's talk about what I was able to do this month. So I had a goal that was kind of ambitious for me, given what I have to do in my daily life and my schedule, and my goal was to get 38 posts published. And I honestly didn't think that I was going to make it, and was basically typing up until about 5 minutes ago before starting to make this video, which adds an additional almost 44,000 words to the site. So at this point, this 4-month-old site now has 130 posts and 146,000 words. There was a moment this month where I basically had to have like the come to Jesus talk with myself. I had made the goal of trying to crank out this content, and I realized in the middle of the month that it just wasn't going to happen. My life and my schedule, like, I just don't have the ability to work 7 days a week, every single day, all day. That just isn't my life. And I've been on the fence about this and going back and forth about it, and finally decided that I was going to incorporate some outsourcing. I've talked about this a little bit. I think I've already owned it and owned up to it in a live stream, but I tried a couple of different options and then eventually ended up with writer access. They do charge a monthly rate, but I was able to get content that I can use for 2 cents a word. So when I was doing the weighing, running an ad with pro blogger jobs versus paying $40 a month for writer access, it's pretty easy, and that's what I need right now. So this was the first month where I actually had some significant expenses for the site. I spent about $450 on content this month, and I'm thinking that going forward, just to help me get to my goals, I will probably do a similar investment month on month. Still planning on writing most of the content myself, but it never hurts to have a little help if you can afford to do it. But other than that, I didn't spend any money on the site, any other money on the site. So let's talk traffic. I think it's pretty clear that the site is still in the sandbox. I recorded my March video, month 3, just a little bit early, so I didn't get the full benefit of all the stats for the month. According to Google Analytics 4, in March, the site had 860 users and about 1,300 page views. So in April, we had just over 1,100 users and just over 1,600 page views. It's not quite knock your socks off growth, but still, it's growth. Another thing that I'm excited about is that the site earned almost $20 this month. If you follow the series, you know that I put Ezoic on the site really early. And so far this month, I was able to earn $18.69 from ads. And right now, the EPMV is averaging just around $15. And this was a pretty major development from March, because the EPMV in March was closer to $10. I didn't earn any more money with Amazon Associates this month, but since I'm not writing a ton of Amazon content, I'm not that concerned about it. So at this point, the total earnings for the site were $31.37. So that's for all the months. And the total expenses, the total money that I've laid out is $455.86. All right, so those 1,100 users, so that's 1,600 page views in month 4. Am I excited about this or not? For me, I would say yes, I am excited. Compared to the last case study I did these videos on, the site is well ahead of where I was the last time I did this, with half the content. Am I disappointed that the traffic and the numbers aren't better? And the answer is I am. And I blame all of you YouTubers who do these case studies and are pushing out so much content that I feel inadequate. What are they doing that I'm not doing? Well, in most cases, I know what they're doing that I'm not doing, which is probably pushing out twice the amount or 3 times or even 4 times the amount of content as so much faster than I can. Ultimately, I'm not going to drop $20,000 to build this site in like 6 months. I'm just not going to do that. And it's just a really good reminder to me and to everyone else watching this that comparing yourself to other people and their progress like has limited value. You could do everything exactly the same as someone else and have different results simply because your niche is different. But I'm not going to lie, it doesn't stop me from like frantically clicking on those income report videos because I want to know what it is that you guys are doing. So what do I think is working? Well, first of all, I think the niche was a good call. I think it was sufficiently broad so that there are lots of keywords. I think it was sufficiently like not competitive because it's just not like super sexy. And I think the people who are into it are passionate enough about it. So what am I struggling with? And I find myself doing what I did with another site of mine that I built from scratch, which is really struggling to stay on topic. I am easily distracted and swayed by keywords that look valuable. So I find myself like just convincing myself that they are related enough, that they will fit in there, that I can make them fit. And I promised myself back in, I think, video 1 that I wasn't going to do this. So if I have any worries or concerns at this point, it is, am I going deep enough on my topics for topical relevance? Is Google going to understand that my site is about A, B, or C? So the plan in May is to keep my head down, stop going down rabbit trails for keyword researching, just stick to the plan if I can. I'm not sure if I can. Another thing that I did a lot of this month is I spent some time going back to the initial wave, the first 25 to 50 posts, and started working on the interlinking strategy. In the beginning, there wasn't much to link the posts to, but now there is. So I'm at this place where I have a lot of content, but not too much content. And so it's a really good time now to get in there and just make sure that there are good links so that I don't forget about it, so I don't lose anything, and so that I don't find myself 6 months from now just completely overwhelmed by this project. I will confess though that the plan is changing. I initially had planned to get to 200 posts and say, okay, this is where I'm going to stop and this is where I'm going to take a break. Recently, I've come to the conclusion, to the realization that it's time for me to take my own medicine and really commit to this site for not just 200 posts, which I could be done with maybe in 2 months from now, so maybe at the end of month 5 or 6, but to go all in on this site for 12 months. So my initial goal was 200 posts, and I have revised that to 500 with the goal of completing those by the end of December. The goal is to outsource between 10 and 15 posts a month, assuming that I can get decent content at a price that doesn't break the bank. But ultimately, it comes down to me just grinding it out and writing content from now until then. Seems like a long time, but these first 4 months have really cruised, and I just don't think it's going to be as hard as I think it will be. I don't know. Ask me in October. Like if I have any hair that's not gray and like sanity. Really now, at this point in the site, now is not the time to focus on metrics. Now is not the time to get obsessed with what is happening in Google Analytics and like every bounce and fall. Just need to write content. What about you? How's your site doing? Let me know in the comments. That stuff really helps me, keeps me motivated, so I know that I'm not alone here doing this. Man, it's like getting dark on me.